There's one thought that almost no one admits out loud, but at some point in life, almost all of us have had it. You pick up your phone for just a few minutes, and it seems like someone just landed their dream job. Someone else found the love of their life. Another person just bought a new home. Someone else is traveling the world. Meanwhile, you look at your own life, and it feels like nothing is moving forward. Then a quiet question begins to surface. Why does it seem like everything works out for everyone else, but never for me? Are some people simply luckier than others? Or is something happening inside our minds that completely changes the way we perceive reality? Neuroscience has uncovered something fascinating. Your brain doesn't record everything happening around you. In fact, it does the exact opposite. Every second, millions of pieces of information flood your senses. Processing all of them would be impossible. So your brain makes a choice. It selects, it filters, it discards. It decides what deserves your attention and what can safely be ignored. Without that filter way, we simply wouldn't be able to function. But this mechanism has an unexpected consequence. Whatever your brain chooses to focus on starts to feel far more common than it actually is. Now imagine something else. You know almost every detail of your own life. The good days, the bad ones, your doubts, your failures, your fears, your insecurities. But when it comes to other people's lives, you usually see only tiny fragments. A photograph, a video, a promotion, a special moment. Without realizing it, your brain begins comparing two completely different things. Your entire reality against someone else's highlight reel. That comparison can never be fair, because it was never complete. Imagine walking into a room filled with 100 people. 95 of them are having an ordinary day. 5 have just experienced something extraordinary. Who do you think your attention will focus on? The 5. The human brain is naturally drawn to the unusual, to remarkable stories, to extraordinary victories. The problem is that after noticing only those 5 people, we can leave the room believing that everyone is living an extraordinary life, when in reality, we've seen only a tiny fraction of the full picture. In psychology, there's a phenomenon known as confirmation bias. It works in a surprisingly simple way. Once we begin believing something, our brains unconsciously start searching for evidence that supports that belief. Imagine someone who thinks, nothing ever works out for me. Without realizing it, every setback begins to feel like proof that the belief is true, while small victories barely register at all. Your brain doesn't do this because it's trying to hurt you. It does it because it's searching for consistency. It's trying to build a story that makes sense, even when that story doesn't reflect the whole truth. For most of human history, we compared our lives to a relatively small group of people, family, neighbours, friends. Today, in just a few minutes, we can compare our daily lives with hundreds of people, many of them sharing the happiest moments of their lives. The human brain never evolved to handle this level of comparison. Every post can feel like another piece of evidence that someone else is living a better life than we are. But there's something important to remember. Almost no one posts their sleepless nights, their anxious days, their failed attempts, their abandoned projects, or their moments of self-doubt. We see the final chapters, but we almost never witness everything that came before them. It may seem like comparison is the entire problem, but psychology has uncovered something even more surprising. Even when 2 people experience the exact same situation, they can perceive it in completely different ways. The difference isn't found only in the world around them. It's also found in the way the brain interprets what happens. And that's exactly where one of the most fascinating discoveries about the human mind begins. Imagine 2 people going through exactly the same experience. They receive the same criticism, face the same obstacle, experience the same failure, and yet one of them concludes, "This proves I'll never succeed." The other thinks, "I need to figure out what I can do better." The event was the same, but the interpretation was completely different, and more often than not, it's that interpretation that shapes what happens next. Psychology shows that we don't respond only to events themselves. We respond to the meaning we assign to them. Your brain is constantly trying to conserve energy. Once it believes it has found a convincing explanation, it tends to stop looking for alternatives. If someone comes to believe that, nothing ever works out for me, that belief alone can reduce their willingness to try again. Not because reality has changed, but because their expectations have. Psychologists have observed this pattern in many different contexts. When we stop taking action because we believe our efforts won't make a difference, we create a cycle that's difficult to break. Every abandoned attempt reduces the chance of a different outcome, and every missing result seems to confirm the original belief. There's a question that has followed humanity for centuries. Are some people actually luckier than others? Part of the answer is chance. Life will always contain unpredictable events. But researchers have also noticed something fascinating. People who stay curious, explore new environments, meet new people, and try different paths, naturally expose themselves to a greater number of opportunities. That doesn't mean they control their destiny. It means they increase the odds of discovering possibilities that otherwise might never have appeared. Sometimes, what we call luck also means being in the right place when an opportunity arrives. There's another phenomenon that profoundly shapes the way we see the world. It's known as survivorship bias. Imagine listening only to the stories of people who succeeded. Successful entrepreneurs, famous artists, champion athletes. What we almost never see are the thousands of people who followed similar paths, but ended up with different outcomes. When we focus only on success stories, it's easy to believe they're far more common than they actually are. Science reminds us to pay attention, not only to what's visible, but also to everything that remains unseen. Because understanding any story requires looking at both those who made it and those who didn't. Perhaps one of the most fascinating features of the human mind is what happens after we achieve something we've wanted for a long time. At first, we feel joy, excitement, a sense of accomplishment. But over time, the brain quietly turns that extraordinary achievement into something ordinary. Researchers call this process hedonic adaptation. It explains why even life's greatest accomplishments gradually lose their emotional impact. Meanwhile, we begin noticing everyone else's achievements again, and the comparisons start all over. Not because our lives have become worse, but because our brains adapt remarkably quickly to what once felt extraordinary. After everything we've explored, perhaps there's a more important question than the one that began this video. Instead of asking, why does everything seem to work out for everyone else? Maybe we should ask, what is my brain failing to notice? It seems like a small shift, but it changes the entire investigation. Because instead of focusing only on other people's lives, we begin examining the way we interpret our own. Every one of us carries struggles that never appear in photographs. Fears, disappointments, interrupted dreams, moments of uncertainty. Just as every one of us also accumulates small victories that gradually stop attracting our attention. The human mind was built to recognize patterns, but those patterns don't always tell the whole story. Sometimes, they simply reinforce what we already expect to see. And that's exactly why understanding how the brain works can completely change the way we see our own lives. Perhaps some people really have found opportunities we'll never encounter. Perhaps others have faced hardships we'll never witness. But one thing is certain, none of us knows the full story of another person's life. And perhaps it's that invisible part of every story that makes every comparison inevitably incomplete.